check. Ooh.
Check. 1, 2.
I do have one complaint as a veteran Macworld Expo goer. Don't put me on the main stage on such a comfortable couch on the last day.
Or put wheels
This is
on
too
it.
nice. I don't want to get up now.
Is this too soft? I can barely hear it. It's good?
My impression of a third-day showgoer. And I think we blend into the couch, actually.
Yeah, if they have the cameras on us, they won't even be able to see us.
All right, you ready to do this?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. My name is Tim Robertson. I'm the publisher of MyMac.com. The MyMac.com podcast has been going since 2004. I actually retired from the show, and he's the new host of the MyMac.com podcast, Guy Serle. Hi, Guy.
Hey, Tim, what's going on?
What do you mean? You've been with me all day. You don't need to ask me what's going on.
I don't know. Hey, you said follow your lead, man.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about at the Macworld Expo, since we're up here on the main stage, is old companies that we don't see anymore. Everybody's talking about the latest and greatest, which I agree is great. I love the stuff that's out here, but I'm old school guy.
I go even farther back.
You know, I start talking to a lot of the showgoers who's been around for a long time like us, like that guy right there. He's been around for a long time. That guy I know he's been around for. I've seen him at every Macworld I've ever been to. And I don't know who he is, but I see him every year.
He probably went to the old New York shows, too.
Absolutely. So we thought it'd be fun to mention some of the companies and see if anybody out here can remember the products.
Yeah, that they used to make.
Or the products, and see if you can remember the company name.
Ooh, yeah. We can
so I thought that would be fun. So, no, you don't win anything.
You win our respect.
You're in. Okay, I'm going to start with you.
Uh-oh.
All right. Do you remember AltSys? Oh, you don't remember AltSys. How about Virtuoso? Virtuoso. Kind of. AltSys had a program called Fontagrator.
Font editor.
No, that's what it did. It was a font editor.
Oh, right. No, that was a drawing program.
And Virtuoso was a drawing program that was licensed to Aldus, who renamed it Freehand. The rights reverted back to Altus later and was acquired by Macromedia. So what happened to Freehand? Where's that now?
Adobe, but I mean, it's kind of somewhere in the dark. Yeah, Illustrator took the forefront, but Freehand is still a much better program.
It was. And other people said, I hated Freehand and I like Illustrator. See, it's the Mac versus. See, it's not just Mac versus PC. We had Illustrator versus Freehand. We had. You could only work in wireframe mode, and you could do it in preview mode.
Well, not only that, we also had 040 processors versus PowerPC for a while.
Yes, and then we had, I'm going to stick with the PowerPC, and I'm never going to move to Intel.
Never, ever, ever.
I think Intel won that one. How many of you guys have actually watched that Intel snail commercial recently and kind of cringed? Ooh, remember when we used to make fun of Intel, and we don't do that anymore, do we?
No.
Cassidy and Green. Does anybody remember Cassidy and Green? Sam Levin, keep your hand down. I know you know. I saw a hand over here. Why am I not surprised he's got gray hair? And he remembers Cassidy and Green.
Yeah, he would.
Right over there.
Where are we at?
Right over there.
There he is.
I want to see if he can think of two different software titles.
You're on the spot here. You're on the spot here. Can you think of any program made by Cassidy and Green?
I don't remember the names, but didn't they make fonts too?
Conflict Catcher. Do you remember the old System 9 days when people
Conflict
had to try
Catcher
to figure
was so
out, oh
popular.
my God, my system is crashing? Then you'd have to turn off an extension or turn off a control panel and then bring it back up and see if it crashed again. And if it did, oh, that wasn't it. So you go back, turn that one back on, and then you bring up another. Oh my God. Conflict Catcher took care of a lot of that. They also had a great game called Crystal Quest. Does anyone here remember Crystal Quest?
No.
Okay, the guys back there remember Crystal.
We're in
Thank you,
trouble
sir.
now. Now I'm going to put a fellow podcaster on the spot. Put the camera away and come over here. NosillaCast podcast. Hello,
Allison Sheridan.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing well. I've got old software and hardware companies, and you got to tell me what begat what.
You can't look at my iPad.
You can't look. I'm going to give you a real softball one.
Okay, good.
What did AppleWorks come from? It was a software before AppleWorks. No helping. I heard you over there. What was the software that it came with every single Performa?
ClarisWorks?
ClarisWorks, perfect. How many people loved ClarisWorks? ClarisWorks was great. AppleWorks, I know you probably saw that or you talked to her. I see it. Oh, stop that.
I think she used big words to give the hint.
I loved ClarisWorks. I loved AppleWorks. Why doesn't Apple make an AppleWorks anymore? Look, Pages is great, but it's not half as great as AppleWorks was. You had a drawing program that was virtually useless. You had that great painting. Well, no, the painting program was pretty much virtually useless. The spreadsheet, no, nobody used the spreadsheet.
MacDraw from Claris, too.
MacDraw. I kind of understand why they got rid of AppleWorks now. I answered my own question. It sounded great, but no. And
You're
does
leaving.
anybody remember TeamMaker? You remember TeamMaker? TeamMaker, you come on up here if you're going to wave your hand away from the back. You got to come up here then. TeamMaker started in 1979, and they were the 5th software vendor to start making products on the Macintosh. The 5th company. One of their products is still being made, not by TeamMaker. Do you know what the product that they started is still being made, which was completely crushed by Google in the image search?
No idea.
Image Google search. Think about that. And what was a product from back then in the early Mac days that Google image search has pretty much killed? So you want to look at something and then you hit images and you see pictures. What's a software program from way back in the Mac's early days that we all had it?
McDraw?
Think of Clip.
Oh, clip art.
Clip art is still we all had. How many people here still have CDs with clip art on it? Look at.
They're all over the place.
Here more importantly, how many people have a clip art box that's still shrink wrapped? It was called clip art. Click art. Click art was yes. And
Okay, how many people still have
Adobe did not buy
software
them
on floppy drives or on floppies that you can't even use anymore because nobody makes a 3.5-inch floppy anymore?
Let me tell you what I do for a living. I'm the COO of Mac Specialist. We're an Apple reseller in Chicago, Illinois. And we have 2 stores.
I'm guessing that you're from Chicago.
We have 2 stores.
a
We
guess.
have one in Villa Park where people like me, the old groups, come and they actually want us to fix their G3s. And then we have the real nice boutique store in downtown Chicago where the young hip people that I hate come in to spend a lot of money, which I like. So it's a weird thing.
A love-hate
I can't
relationship.
tell you how. Just recently, someone came in. We have what's called the Rosetta Mac. It's an old beige G3 with a zip drive in it with every port that you can possibly imagine. We can open anything with this thing. So a guy comes in with these old floppy disks, and he hands them to me, and he says, I don't know what's on it. I know it's from my college days. Could you possibly copy this off of it so I can have a copy? I don't have anything that will open. I say, absolutely, no problem. $50. But
Nothing is free.
so I do it, and I call him, and I say, I've got your files. And he goes, well, how are you going to get them to me? I said, how about email? And he goes, are they too big to email?
And yet they fit in a floppy.
That's old school when you think that, yeah, floppy is too big to email.
Well, how many people remember a program called Sound Jam?
Sound Jam.
Sound Jam.
Now,
That
here's
was
the
also
question.
Cassidy and Green.
Here's the question. What happened to Sound Jam? Does anybody know whatever happened to Sound Jam? Okay, I got a guy back here raising. Come on up here. Tell me what happened to Sound Jam and why everybody should know what happened to it.
It became iTunes.
It became iTunes. Apple bought them in, what, 99? 2000?
Yeah, it was like about 2 years before they
And
released.
they hired all
iTunes.
the guys who worked on Sound Jam MP, and they created iTunes. So here's old software that you're kind of still using, but not really. How about UMax? Does anybody remember UMax? What? Yeah, okay, I think he's going to know. UMax was a pretty popular company in 97-ish, 96. What did they? Okay, scanners, but what else did they make that was really popular, especially at Macworld Expo for a while? Doesn't know.
I know.
I know you know.
It was some sort of Mac clone. I don't.
It was exactly. They were a Mac clone license. A lot of people forget about Apple had clones for a while.
For about 2 years,
And some guy
between
named
95 and 97.
And some guy named Steve Jobs came in and just killed the whole thing.
sorry, who?
I don't know. Some guy who Steve something.
Well, how did anyone here actually own a Mac clone? This guy did. I gotta know. What Mac clone did you have?
Now you got that. I am on the spot. I'm blocking on it.
Was it power computing or
That was it. Yep.
was it a tower or
PC type tower box. Yeah.
and what 603, 604 chip? Do you remember?
Now here's something for the old school people.
That's me. Old
we
school.
all have huge Intel systems, big flat panel displays. Who remembers Radius?
Ooh.
I'm gonna ask my friend here.
Yeah.
His name's Dennis, and I see him. I think he's some kind of a mug guy, because the mug guys are at every expo. It's like a cockroach. If there's no mug guys, and then one shows up, there's 1,000 mug guys all of a sudden. Where do all the mugs come from? I'm kidding you, because I'm a mug member myself. So, Radius. What did they make?
Made monitors.
Made monitors, big ones that pivoted exactly.
Yeah.
We took it for granted that you can't move a monitor. Now, do you know where Radius got their start, though? Who the people behind Radius was and why that was important?
Was it Super Mac?
No, it was Burrell Smith, Andy Hetfield, all those guys who were on the original Mac team.
Yep.
In '86, went and started their own company, called it Radius. And this will tie it back to UMax and our printers. They were the first licensee of the Macintosh clone, and they sold their license to UMax. It all comes together, guy.
I know it's scary.
It does. There's one company, I remember seeing this demo, 1999.
I
This
know where you're
game
going.
called Myth, and this company called Bungie. And I saw this really cool first-person shooter.
Wasn't that Halo?
It was, oh yeah, it was Halo.
Yeah, Halo.
Halo.
Anybody heard of Halo?
It's gone now. I think it just disappeared. It just
Well, they were bought by some like
Bungie
third
and
rate.
Halo. Did anything ever happen with that?
I think it was released and nobody really paid any attention.
Now
at
this
all.
is for old school.
Uh-oh.
Who remembers Z-Term? Yeah, out there on the board. The real geeks out there running the equipment, they remember Z-Term. Nobody remembers Z-Term? He's shaking his head. Z-Term was how you connected to bulletin board systems.
Yep.
There was no internet guy.
Yeah,
There was
BBSs
one
and
modem
stuff.
I can call in to a computer 200 miles away to download my InfoMac
Yeah.
newsletter. That's old school right there. But here's the funny thing about Z-Term, which you guys might not know. It was just updated in 2008. Why? Why? What would?
There's got to be a
It's-
couple of BBSs out there someplace.
There. I'm going to ask the mug guy.
He'll know. He'll know.
If there's a BBS that's Mac related, the mug guy will know. I know it.
What
What do
about?
you got?
Let's see. Aldous. How many people remember Aldous? And well,
That's
I'm
cheating
going to ask
because
her,
you
'cause
already.
she's been
She
really,
knows.
really good.
She
Can you
knows.
name one program, just one program that Aldous used to make?
PageMaker and freehand.
PageMaker. PageMaker.
PageMaker. I'm going to set this down now because I don't need it. Here's the thing. There, so many old software titles long gone. So many companies that when you would come here to the Macworld Expo would have massive booths, and they're completely gone, and nobody even remembers them anymore. I don't know if that's a good thing. I guess evolution. We change.
Yep.
But it's kind of a sad thing because these were very important programs and hardware that we spent a lot of money for that's still shrink wrapped and my wife really wants me to get rid of.
And you won't.
I still have System 7 shrink wrapped.
You're kidding me.
I still do. I don't know.
Who's going to pay
you
big
could say
money
you could say
for
collectors.
a shrink wrap version of System? Now, if it was 7.5.5, that might be worth
You
some
could say
money.
collectors.
System 7?
But here's the problem: there's a show called Hoarders on nowadays. How many Mac Hoarders do we have? Who here has a Power PC machine still? Look, Hoarders. Get rid of them. You don't need them. Get rid of them.
Okay, how many people here have a 68K Mac still? You have a come on up here.
Here.
Come on.
Yes.
Oh.
You have your Mac Plus.
The Mac Plus.
I have.
The Mac Plus was the very first Mac that I bought back in 1987.
Who has a Lisa? He has a Lisa. He has a Lisa.
Okay. How about hard drives from that time period?
And by the way, when I
40
say who has a Lisa, I
megabyte
don't mean
hard
who's
drive,
had a Lisa.
$700.
It's a totally different show.
And when
Who's
I
had
got
a
it, I
Lisa.
thought I will never ever fill this thing up.
It's too big. It's too big.
It's too big. Too big.
I thought it would be really fun in our Chicago store. Can everybody still hear me? Because I can't hear myself.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
You good? I'm down a little bit. There we go.
There you go.
Really, he's saying relax.
Oh, you got it talk. We got it
Relax.
covered, man. It's all right,
Just
baby.
chill out a little bit.
It's all right.
It'll be
It's
okay.
all good. It's all good.
Did I get shorter or did you get taller?
I don't
feel
think
like
I'm getting taller
I feel like
anymore.
it's a before and after.
Before and after what?
You don't want to know.
Before and after the party last night.
I thought it would be really cool. Instead of having just a brand new Intel Mac Mini and all that in our Chicago store, I wanted to spark conversations when people walked in. So from the depth of my basement to the encouragement of my wife, said, yes, take it out of here.
Get it out of here.
I took 3 computers and I put them as a pyramid in the store. On the bottom 2 is a Mac Classic and a Mac Plus, and sitting on top is the original 128K Macintosh.
You got those wired down so no one can just like run up and steal them, right?
Yeah, well. Does anybody visit the unofficial Apple weblog, 2all's website?
Yeah,
A couple
people.
weeks ago, they had 2 iPad thefts. And they showed 2 guys ripping an iPad and running out of the store. I was the idiot in the tan shirt that runs after them. Don't do that. Here's the problem. And that's a visual gag.
Yeah,
I'm like a
that's,
dragster. I'm really fast, but it's just in short bursts.
Yeah,
And
his
then-
his middle name is Buddha now.
Yes, I got that. So I thought it would be great to put these old Macs in the store. And it was amazing how many people, instead of looking at the brand new machine sitting right there, were drawn almost by magic to this little beige beauty. And they said, does it still work? Of course. Why? You can't put that in a store, and if it doesn't work, boing, boots right up every time.
Yep.
And then the whole lights dim. And I dare not boot all 3 at the same time. I dare not do it.
Yeah, didn't you get a call from Chicago Power saying cut that out?
I did, but here's the problem. I was turned this way, and I got tanned on just one side of my face. But they still boot.
And the problem was he had a Word document open, so he had like scrolling letters on his face, on just the side of his face.
Here's the neat thing. I found a white Macintosh box at a garage sale, and it just had Macintosh on it. No picture, no anything. The Apple logo, Macintosh.
Was that from the original?
And I thought that was the box from the original. So I went over to this garage sale, and I opened up this box, and I hate garage sales, and my wife loves them. And I pull out an original Macintosh, and I thought, this is cool. I want to buy it. How much? She says $5, but it doesn't boot.
Oh,
It didn't have a
no.
floppy in it. She didn't know that you had to have a floppy in it. Even better, I reach in, and there's a book. And I open this spiral notebook, and there's cassette tape tutorials on how to use a Macintosh. Audio, cassette tape tutorials.
Did it also have?
I will give you the $5.
And right then, his wife was at home going, "No, no."
No, she was about 3 aisles away, going, "What do you need that for?" My answer, of course, is I don't need it.
It's not a question of need.
But
it's a question of want.
It's the cassette. Honey, nobody has the cassette tape tutorials that came with the Macintosh, the original.
How many people still have cassette players?
The hands are really slow. Yeah, I've got one. Did anybody see the
Don't do
little
it.
car that drives around the record player over here? Is that the coolest and most useless thing you've ever seen? I told the guy it's $100. I was like, $100? I'd have to go buy a record still. I got a reel-to-reel, but I don't have a record. Here's the
got
thing
lots
I
of
thought,
records.
what if you put a little Bluetooth transceiver in it, and then you can send it out to speakers or something?
Yeah, and then you could make the blue light revolve and give it like German police car colors.
And it
or
would still
something.
be stupid idea. But
well, yeah, but
it was
that's
still
not
very
really
cool.
the point.
So while it's fun to have the latest and greatest Macintosh computers, I see this trend that kind of worries me a little bit. And the Mac App Store is going to make it even worse. I love me some Mac App Store. My credit card does not like me some Mac App Store. But here's the problem, guy. I'm constantly updating to the latest and greatest of whatever the software is.
Right.
And I see a lot of people doing this. And what I want to try to encourage people to do is stop going with the latest and greatest and get really good with something that you have. If you've got Photoshop and you're still at CS3, you don't need CS5. You don't need it. Although the Magic Eraser is really cool, you don't need it. They stopped innovating. They're just adding stuff in now that looks cool. Get really, really good with Photoshop CS3.
Right.
And then you have skills which you can get paid for. You can get paid for being really good at CS3. You don't need to spend $1,500 on the new version, guy.
No, I don't think so.
The most amazing stuff that I see isn't created with the most latest and greatest software. It's the guy that's running on a G4 with pre-Photoshop 6.0, and he's running rings around everybody. It's
because
amazing.
he's taken the time to learn how to use the tools that he already has instead of getting the new version and having to try to learn that as well.
And that's kind of what I wanted to encourage people to do is, while it's great to spend money and support the communities of developers that are making this software, and it's important because we need them, and I'm still going to spend money on it. Don't worry. They're not going to go rogue. Ask my wife.
Yeah, Adobe is going broke any day now.
Yes, they're going broke. Get really good with what you got. Spend some time, learn the software that you already own. Because I can guarantee you, more than half the people in here has downloaded something from the Mac App Store in the last month, and they've used this much of it. And then they go back to the Mac App Store to see
if
what else
there's
can
any
I
updates.
find.
Are
It's
there
like
any
a
updates for the
scavenger.
program I just bought? Let me
It's
look.
a scavenger. What? I like this one. I'll like this one too. Click, click, buy. Click, click, buy. And
it's done.
you know what started it all is it's 99 cents for almost everything.
Yeah,
I'll buy that.
The iOS
oh,
App
that looks
Store.
like a fun game. And then all of a sudden, especially for me, if you tie it to your PayPal account, bad idea.
Holy crap, that's real money.
Did I just spend $70 on what?
On 70 games that you will
I
either
didn't
never use or never finish.
I didn't need Angry Birds Christmas.
You didn't?
I didn't need Angry Birds Christmas. I don't know why I bought it. It was a marketing. I got it. Now look, they're looking for the applications that they've got that they've never played.
Yeah, go to the search, type in Angry Birds Christmas.
No, I'm gonna I'm gonna go back to your home screen. All right, I'm gonna ask you how often you use some of these applications. Okay. All right. What is this ant something? What is that one? What is that? What's that one do? Yep. It's a Dave. Dave, how often do you use it? Once a week. How much did it cost? Nothing, I bet. That one was free. Dexter. You haven't used it in a couple months, and
yet there it
it's
is.
on your iPhone. Yeah. You have too many apps. Stop buying apps. You don't need that many. And you can put those in folders now. You don't have to. You're getting thumb sprain. That's the new thing. People are going to the doctor now. I can't do it no more. Or the
Repetitive
opposite.
motion.
It's
repetitive
nighttime and you're doing this.
Injuries.
That's the new. You can't
While they
stop.
sleep, yeah.
You can't while you're stop. It used to be that lake syndrome thing. I think the doctors made that up I've never seen. Look, she's got Angry Birds, but see, I bet you play Angry Birds though. She's got the Christmas Angry Birds.
Of course she does.
You got that
Everybody
restless leg
needs that.
syndrome. It's going to be the iPhone syndrome.
Restless thumb
your thumb
syndrome.
can't stop.
Yep, RTS.
We need to get into drug making. RTS. No, RTS has got to be taken.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah,
come up
maybe.
with a good acronym, and then I'm going to make a placebo drug and advertise on it.
Sugar pills.
I can't stop doing this, doc. I can't. Or you're gonna have
Thumb
like,
stutters.
or you're gonna
That's
start
pretty
having
good.
like a
I
little
like that.
muscle right there on your thumb.
I'm
and it'll
sorry?
be disgusting. A little. Look at that. I can bench press a
Wait, hold on a
truck.
second. She's got one over here. What is that one again?
Fix. Functionally illiterate extra drugs.
I like that. All right.
Well, having
Do
grown
you
up
have
in
an
Florida
iPhone?
in the 70s, I probably
You don't
know
have
more
an
about that
iPhone?
than I'm willing
Get
to
out of
admit
this
here on
expo.
stage.
Who's got an iPhone back here? Come on, let's see your eye. Now
Come
I
on.
know you spent.
I cannot
he's
believe.
he's got braces. I know he spent a lot of money on apps. Let's see your iPhone. Come
on.
How many pages do you have in your iPhone? Most of them are free, but how many pages? Scroll through your pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 6 pages, and he's got folders. How many folders? Okay, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He's got 14 folders. So you thought the folders thing was great, but then after a while, you go, I'm not putting anything in the folders. I got to move it over 4 screens. That's a huge pain. How many? Let's scroll over. Look, his thumb's not even working right anymore. It doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4,
That's gotta hurt
5,
after a
6,
while.
7. But I saw a lot of folders. No, yeah, a whole page of folders. How many apps do we need?
As many as our little fingers can buy.
We don't need this many apps.
We do anyway.
Don't look at
it's
my
what we do.
iPhone and find out how many I have. If that's the case, and she
App
says
hoarding.
the person with the most toys win, I won.
Because he just took your iPhone.
Because
No, he didn't. You
Oh,
still
that
have it.
wasn't your phone,
Oh,
was
damn
it?
it. Shouldn't have said that just then.
So I've got 1, 2. That's it. Now I've got folders, but you know what I'm using a lot now?
What's that?
I'm using the Kindle app. How many people are using the Kindle app on an iOS device?
Instead of
What I found
iBooks.
out, and I think this is fantastic, I can sync my content between my multiple devices. So I'm reading a book on the iPad, and the iPad was perfectly made for this.
You got
But
taller
Apple's
than me.
iBook store is terrible. I just wanted to feel taller than you once. Look, I like that's
Yeah,
much
but
better.
the glare is going to kill
Hold
him.
on,
Dun, 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 dun,
I got it. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
I love the iBook store. I love the stupid page curl that we all went, oh, that's cool, but I just want to read. Stop it. I just want to read. The Kindle app is awesome because I'm reading it on the iPad and I put it away, and then my kids want to play with the iPad, but I want to read. So I pull this out, and I launch Kindle, and it remembers where I was. That was great. It was fantastic. Then I was in Chicago for work, and I was telling the guy about it, and he goes, did you get the Kindle Mac app? And I said, no. So I downloaded it, I launched it, and I went to my book, and it remembered where I was. Wherever I go, there it is. They know what you're reading and where you're reading it.
And how you read it.
I love me some functionality, and that's great.
Well, doesn't that kind of feel scary at times that something that you're doing on one device and then you go to another device and it says,
And it's
oh,
there.
yeah, that's what you were doing there. It's like,
How many of you guys are Evernote users? Not as many as I thought. Evernote is one of the greatest programs
yep.
on any. I love Evernote. It's fantastic. So it's free. It works on the Mac. It works on the PC. Works on Linux. Nobody uses Linux. Why do they keep? Who has Linux?
Anyone here have Linux? Of course.
That
this
you
guy
actually
here.
use.
Right here.
I know
Right here.
he does. I wasn't even looking over there. That guy's got everything.
Okay, what
he's
distro?
running Linux on a beige box. So Evernote will allow you to take
God
notes,
bless you, sir.
pictures, sound files, movies. You drop it into Evernote, and it syncs with all your Evernote devices. So if you've got Evernote on your iPhone, you got it on your iPad, you got it on your computer, there's Evernote. The only thing that's missing is the Wii. And that would make
we just used that today.
But
we
here's
just
the
used
thing.
it today.
We did. But here's the thing. If
Yeah.
I had Evernote on my Wii would be useful. I got suckered into that one. Nobody uses the Wii. Everywhere. Yay, my arm hurts. I'm done. Give me.
Let's
I'll do
go
this.
bowling.
I'll do this. I can't do that. You do two bowling on the Wii and you're tired.
Well, my wife and I got the the sports pack because she wanted to do the yoga, and it's got this thing where it takes your weight, and
me see
tells
your
you,
iPhone.
yeah. And it was like I got on it. I'm 6'6".
Okay, I gotta see how much.
So I get on this thing and I'm thinking, well, okay, well I got a little bit going on here, but it's not that bad. I get on this thing. It says you are mortally obese.
3.
And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. This
4.
really encourages me to use this
4
program.
pages. 4 pages. A whole bunch of folders.
Yeah.
And she claims she uses every app on here. How many people believe she uses every app on here? What's that app? That's 2 fine places on the button. What's the app? The app is Maps. Very good. Who makes the Maps
Could I
app?
see that for a minute, please?
It's automatically. It's not automatically. Somebody had to put it on there, and that was Apple, and they're using Google technology. So you got to learn. It's not just magic. You got to learn where it came from.
Tim, could you hand that to me, please?
The whole person or just the phone?
I think just the phone.
She's pretty small.
That's
I
her
could
mom. Her
probably
mom would-
lift her up.
Thank you.
Maybe not. I've been walking around the expo.
So, oh, you wanted that back.
You wanted that back. So our website is www.mymac.com. We have a couple different podcasts that we do, actually 5. Podcasting, though, isn't what we focus on. We have a lot of product reviews.
A lot of talented writers.
Absolutely. One of the things that we do at the Macworld Expo is we meet with all the different vendors. We procure free stuff for the writers so they can write it. I don't want the free stuff. My wife won't let me bring that stuff home anymore. And our writers, very impartial, will write reviews. It's really hard nowadays to find places to impartial review. Is this worth buying?
God, you're so far down there.
I know.
I'll come down.
Again.
I'll come down.
It's so hard to find content
That's
to tell
unbiased.
you what's worth buying. And we've been trying to do that since 1995. In internet years,
there were dinosaurs
Oh
in
my
internet
God.
years back then.
MyMac started as a digital download.
Tell me, how many people here remember Doc Maker?
Anybody?
Wow,
remember?
I don't
Nobody.
see a
It's a
one
couple
hand.
people. It was a doc maker. It was kind of like PDF, but before PDF, and it was better because it was old. Old's better.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling
And
myself.
I put this. I created this little digital thing,
right.
and I put it online. And online was AOL. And if you had AOL, you couldn't get anywhere
CompuServe
else.
also.
It was just AOL. You couldn't go anywhere. It was just AOL. CompuServe. How many people remember eWorld? Couple eWorld. Quick trivia for you. MyMac almost became eWorld. I had a license agreement in my hand from Apple Legal to license the eWorld name.
Right.
The day after Steve Jobs personally told me, no, they don't want to license it.
Well, it would have lasted about a day and a half.
Yeah,
Bragging
pretty much.
rights.
So I created this little digital magazine. I thought it would be fun to put it online. CompuServe, eWorld, first class BBSs around the world. And this
I'm sorry, what?
First class, it was this old stuff that you had to type.
BBS.
BBS.
Okay.
And do you know what a BBS is? You got to take penicillin to get rid of it. It's horrible. You never want a BBS.
In order to
trust
know
me.
what a BBS is, you would need a DeLorean.
You do need a DeLorean. You have to go back in time.
Yep.
A bulletin board system. It's kind of like the internet, but just text. And it was one computer. You can call one computer, and that was it.
Yeah, but you could use your mouse, right?
No, well, no.
No, not so much.
No, I use Z-Term. The only time you use Z-Term and a mouse was launch Z-Term. That was
Then
it.
you're on your own.
Here's another company, Global Village. Does anybody remember Global Village? And everybody's going modems.
Modems.
Here's audio history for you. When I wanted to call into a BBS or AOL,
Bing, bing, bing.
and we love that sound. You know what we hated with AOL? Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, they would actually well, she probably doesn't know this. You would actually have to dial in on a telephone number from within your area code in order to get on some of these early services.
How many people remember AO Wait?
Yeah, AOL.
Oh, yes. You could never get in. If it was after 5 p.m., you ain't getting on AOL. I'm setting my alarm clock to 2 a.m. I'll get up and check my email then, because that's the only time you're getting in. Oh, sending graphics over modem was the most painful. I remember when I got my 56K modem.
Yeah.
I was flying.
Ooh, boy, that was something.
I skipped over 2400. I went from
what was
96
your first one? What was your
all the way
How
up.
fast was your first modem?
1200 baud. No, I had a 600 baud modem.
Yeah,
I had a
mine
600
mine was a 2400 that I got when I signed up. I can't even remember the name of the service now. It was like through Sears and IBM. Does anyone remember that one?
Sears and IBM.
Prodigy. That's what it was. Prodigy. Did anybody
Yes.
remember Prodigy? Did anybody actually manage to use Prodigy? They gave you a modem.
I'll tell you this. You know what AOL did for me? It made me not scared of my Macintosh. I had AOL 2.0. This was the first Macintosh I had at home. And I was on AOL, and then my mouse stopped moving. And I'm like, what's going on? And I didn't know what to do. I couldn't go up to the special and shut down. What do I do?
You reach around the back.
Well, I called Apple. And after 15 minutes on hold, I told this nice person, it might have been you, what do I do? And the lady said, just turn it off and turn it back on. I said, I can't. My mouse isn't moving. I can't do that. She goes, no, there's a switch on the back.
Very,
turn
very
it off,
patiently, she said
turn
this.
it back on. So I said, really? And she said, yeah. I was never scared of my Mac after that point, but I should have been, because when I did that and I started up, he yelled at me.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go to the special menu and get down.
How dare you?
I always thought that was fun. It yells at you for doing that, but I couldn't do the other thing that you wanted me to. It's a computer. Shouldn't it have known? I can't do anything. It's not moving.
Well, fortunately, Apple has become much less controlling since then.
AOL made me not scared of my computer, because at that point, if I could just turn it off and turn it back on,
You were good.
I'm good to go. I'm not going to break it.
And you just click right past that message.
Yeah, it was annoying.
Oh,
but we loved it.
yeah. He was talking about the bomb error messages that you sometimes get.
And it would actually
with
sound like
with
a crash.
such helpful information, you just had a system crash 3006. Oh, good. Thanks.
Take it, guy.
Clear as mud. Are you tired?
I was tired before I got here. I got 4 kids. I'm tired tomorrow already.
You know, I think after we got here on Tuesday, and after, that is such a nice. Thank
nice.
you. We really, really like this couch. Thank you. Thumbs up. After 4 days at the Macworld Expo, I think that even my sunken
Your
eyes are
ears look
bloodshot.
tired. Your ears look tired to me.
My ears are bloodshot at this point.
So we encourage you guys to visit mymac.com. And we have a bunch of different podcasts. We have the Tech Fan podcast. That's what I do.
Yep.
Guy is doing the mymac.com podcast.
Yeah, the flagship podcast, the mymac.com podcast with Gaz Maz, who's in the UK.
If you rotate your microphone, there's this little thing called App Minute. It's another podcast. It's part of the mymac.com family of shows.
Yep.
We talk about, what do we talk about? I don't know. He's the guy that does it. What do we do on the
Sam
App
Levin.
Minute? It's like a 2-minute podcast, so you can not listen for a month and catch it all up in one drive. It's great. Apps, basically.
Yeah, and there's the Pocket Size
podcast, brand new show.
Yep,
and
with Scott Wilsey.
We also have the geekiest show ever.
With a rotating cast
That's the
of
name
characters.
of the show. I know you were waiting for me to tell you the name of the show. That's the name of the show, geekiest show ever. So mymac.com is the website. Take a listen to our podcast, check out our reviews, and thank you very much for coming to the show, and have a good Macworld.
And God bless.